everybody, welcome back to Event About It, the Dynamic Dialogue Aftershow. I'm your host, Megan Martin, and I am here today with a very special guest, Sierra Siebulrud. Sierra and I have only known each other for a short time. Her mom and I are friends. We play pickleball together. So that's how Sierra ended up in my orbit. She's 27, a Gen Z, and right now she's deep in exploration mode. She's checking out different industries and figuring out where she wants to land next. And last week, if you remember, we were at Cvent CONNECT and I needed some help, so I brought her along, partly because I needed the help, but also because I thought it would be a good way for her to see the industry up close and figure out if the events world is the world for her. So here's the thing. This was her very first event industry conference, but it was also her first major conference of any kind. And I'll be honest, I don't think I was the right person to be introducing her to this industry. My week at Cvent CONNECT was not normal, and it certainly was not a first conference normal experience. As we've talked about, I was in the creator program, capturing content, doing podcast interviews, and supporting multiple client objectives with meetings throughout the conference. So we were both drinking from a fire hose all week long, and she was doing all of it before she even knew what we were really doing. So in this after show, it's going to be a little bit different. There was no main episode to deep dive into because the episode last week was a solo episode with me and my reflections on Cvent CONNECT. So instead, this is a brand new conversation, and we're going to talk to Sierra about what it actually looked like from a Gen Z first timer, whether everything the research we've heard about Gen Z at events holds up against what she actually experienced. And if you caught the main episode, you've already seen the teaser, so we're going to get right into it. Welcome to the studio, Sierra.
Thank
so
you.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you for
Probably
having
your
me.
first podcast, if I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay, it's amazing. All right, well, we're going to dive into all the things Cvent CONNECT last week. You'd been to Nashville before, so
Yes.
that wasn't the new part, but attending a conference was. So walk me through the moment you realized that this probably wasn't a normal business trip.
Oh gosh. Honestly, right when I walked in, I was meeting, you were already in a conference, and I was walking in kind of blind at the end of one of your kind of segments. And I walked in and it was just like a bunch of people just kind of everywhere going different directions. It was just kind of interesting, and I was just kind of finding my way to the ballroom where you were, which was kind of crazy. I didn't think I would ever find it. There's like a million going on.
Yeah.
So just kind of right when I walked in, it just seemed like I was just immersed in all of this like perspective and different, like just a ton of different people from different backgrounds, which I wasn't like, I was like, oh, maybe this is like one company, but I was like, no, this is a lot more going on. So it was just kind of right off the bat, right when I walked in, just kind of being like, oh, okay, this is a lot going on in one building.
Yeah, for sure. So thinking about that, what was the thing that surprised you about the event that some of us that go to these things all the time probably wouldn't think about?
I would say what surprised me was how much goes into this one event. Like, I was just I'm new to the industry. Like, obviously this was my first time. So just kind of seeing every little detail and then kind of listening to conversations you were having and seeing like what everyone's perspective was on how much, like down to like the rebrand obviously was a big part of it.
Yeah.
But just how much goes into just that full factory reset.
Yeah.
And just how many different levels that entailed, which was insane.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. And to get to see that at one of your first conferences, like you
was
probably
crazy.
will never get to see something like
Yeah.
that again. That was really special.
That was insane.
Yeah. So what did you expect? So going into it
Mhm.
versus what actually happened, did it meet expectations or was it way crazier than you thought?
It was immensely crazier. And I think part of that was following you around,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
But it was just, I was expecting like maybe this was like I don't even know, because I knew you were doing content for it. And it kind of, I researched the website a little bit of Cvent and just kind of saw what it was more about and all of the companies coming in. But just kind of seeing how many different hats you were wearing. Also with like meeting like people in your network and like how many hats they were wearing. Like it is just not like a one size fits all type of event. So it was kind of interesting to see how many things that people were doing, and it was all so very different coming to one event, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, and the people that you met, again, not normal scenario.
Right.
Those
Yes.
of us in the creator program do a lot of things, support a lot of clients.
Yes.
There were obviously people there. You met Alex.
Mhm.
You know, she was there for single focused
Yeah.
versus most of the people we interacted with were kind of
Were,
all
like,
over the map.
All over. Yeah, that was really cool to see too.
Yeah. Okay, so it was way crazier than you thought.
Yes.
And was there a moment you felt like completely out of your depth?
Oh gosh, probably. Oh man, I'm like day one. Like the first little meeting we went into, I feel like we walked in and I had my weird badge, the purple badge on. And they're like, "Oh, we'll get her a new one." And I was like immediately like, what does the purple mean? Like just immediately I was just like, "Whoa," just my whole kind of, and then walking into like a cocktail setting, but it was like meetings and like networking, which was really cool. But I was just immediately like, whoa, these are some like big people in events and I should be on my best behavior. But it was kind of crazy. Just like night one, that was just kind of like fully immersed in like everyone had so much experience. And I was just like this like young girl coming in trying to be a sponge. But at the same time, I don't know, just kind of, it was very interesting.
Okay. What part of it was the most interesting to you?
Of the whole event?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I would say I really liked Bobby Brown when she came on.
Yeah,
that was
so
very
great.
Interesting. And just how we, like you guys talked about after in the podcast, about how like you would have reacted like if your name was taken and like you couldn't use it. That's like crazy to think about, but you don't really think about in the sense of like a business aspect or like you legally cannot do like just what would you do?
Yeah.
I thought that was insane, and how she handled it was absolutely remarkable.
So much more graceful than I would have handled
Yes,
it. When your name basically gets stripped away from you and like everything you've spent your whole life building changes overnight and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yes. And then for them to like turn the brand around on her to be like something she didn't want it to be. She wanted it to be more enhancing than like contouring out and carving. Just like crazy to me.
Well, yeah, her whole brand was natural beauty and they went the polar opposite of that.
Totally butchered that. I would be so angry.
Is there a part of the experience that you're still thinking about? Like we're almost a week at home now.
Oh gosh. Probably how many like I'm just thinking about being so multifaceted in business, and like events is so multifaceted as it is, but like being in the events industry and having those many hats that you guys were all wearing, which was really, I thought that was really cool to see. I'm just still thinking about how your brain works essentially, like seeing all the tabs open and like metaphorically and physically.
Yeah.
Like it was just kind of like very eye-opening to be seeing it from more of the entrepreneurial side, which I think would be an amazing direction eventually. But right now I just need to get a grasp. But it is really cool to see like where that can take you.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people this all the time, that's the best part of our industry. And I'm sure there's other industries that have this too, but you can reinvent yourself 1,000 times over, from sales, marketing, planner, I mean, graphic designer, whatever really you're passionate about, you can find a spot in our industry to do that. Technology, builder, whatever.
Yeah, it is crazy.
When you got home, what was like the first thing you told your friends and family about the experience?
Oh my gosh, that was a lot. Because I was just like trying, and also I wanted to learn as much as I can. So the whole time I was just probably just like big eyes, like just like overwhelmed. But it was so cool to like I'm still processing it, honestly.
For sure.
Like just how many different avenues and routes people can go, like just talking to different people at like the wine tour or like just stuff like that. It was kind of interesting to hear what they do. And just everything was so different from each other. It was kind of just a lot.
Does that feel overwhelming or exciting?
Exciting. I would feel like that's way more exciting. But is overwhelming on the knowledge part, but like exciting that there are so many routes you can take.
Yeah.
And just where you can end up is just anywhere is crazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So would you go to another one?
Yes.
You would.
Totally.
All right.
Yes.
Here I was thinking I ruined you
No.
and you would absolutely never join this industry.
No, it was so fun. I was just like, it was a lot to learn, which I realized like there is so much to learn, which was exciting. And also like, I need to get this show on the road, like learn more, you know?
For sure. If you were to give a piece of advice to someone who maybe was going to go to their first conference, what would that advice be?
I would say, oh my word, journal the end of the day. Honestly. Okay. I wish I like took time at the end of the day to be like, okay, like slow down, like what were the key points of each day? Just because it is so many things you're jumping around to. Yeah. And like some of the seminars, I wish I took more notes at. Okay. Like Jay's was good. And then was it Sarah and who was it? No.
Oh, Aaron.
Aaron.
Yeah, from AdvaMed.
Yes, I wish I took more notes detailed from those because there are so many little hot topics that I needed to like learn about. I took pictures of the slide, but realistically, am I going to go back and look at the pictures of the slides? Probably not. Probably not. But they're in my phone. But I just am like thinking about it. Like I wish I like had them written down because then it would also like make me remember a little more.
Yeah, for sure. Was there any jargon? Like I know I use a lot of acronyms and stuff. Like was there parts of the conversation where you were just like, you might as well be speaking a foreign language because I don't even know what you guys are talking about?
Free to go conversation. There was like so many different like, remember them? It was like DMC or just so many. There was just so many little short like acronyms for something. Who knows what they meant? But I was trying to follow along.
It was actually really refreshing to have you with me last week because it's been a long time since I've mentored someone who's brand new to the industry. And I forget sometimes how much in the weeds and the jargon and the acronyms we actually use when if you don't know it, you would be totally lost. Yeah. But in general, did you find people welcoming and excited that you were there, curious about you and introducing you to more people, making you felt like you were supposed to be there?
Totally. Yeah. I did feel like I would like fit in very well, like in that space. Everyone there was just so friendly and talkative, and we had similar interests, and I really love the Bravo conversations, and it's so good. So.
Okay, well, let's take a quick side tangent for all of our Bravo fans out there. So while we were headed to Cvent, there was a splash here in Montana with Amanda Batula coming to a wedding with Wes. Well, Sierra's friends were also at the wedding. So spill a little bit of tea that we found out from your friends from the wedding.
She said Amanda was definitely drinking and she hugged Amanda. So there's no way she didn't feel anything. But now that Amanda and Wes are they're like joking about the rumors now. And I'm like, girl, we're on to you. You were drinking at the wedding. There's no way.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's your tea. Amanda is not pregnant all the way from Montana. Now we know.
You heard it here first.
If you had to sum up the whole week in one sentence to a friend, what would that be?
Cvent CONNECT was eye-opening. Okay. I would say. And like a lot of information.
It was a lot of information. Yes. Well, now that you've seen the industry up close and personal, I mean, you've got a master class in like 5 days. We threw you straight into the deep end head first, not even a toe dip. Is this an industry that feels like a career option for you? I mean, 100%. You could definitely say no.
I 100% think it could be a career move for me. Just with the different aspects of it, I never get bored. Like in my finance jobs, I was bored every day. Nothing felt like I was like doing anything meaningful, but like giving people experience or just build like just everything about it. You can just go about so many different ways. There's no one route, which was amazing to see.
Yeah. It's if the events industry is one thing, it is not boring. Right. That is for sure. Okay, well, we're going to play a little fact check game. Okay. So we all know that the events industry loves to publish reviews and data, and there's all the things coming out now about Gen Z workers. So I'm going to put out a couple of stats about Gen Z that our industry has published recently.
Okay.
And you have to say, yes, I agree, or no, I don't agree with that.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
All right. So one of the stats is 60% of Gen Z workers actively avoid in-person networking opportunities.
I would say disagree, only because everything is so, I feel like the older generations, and mine included, are pushing technology so much that it is just like a kind of default. And people aren't really like that network, like in-person events. That was huge. And I feel like that, like there was a lot of people my age, which was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
And that's who I gravitated to, because we were like, oh my gosh, like this is like so new for us.
Yeah.
And with like basically growing up in a pandemic was like crazy. Like my college was in pandemic. So it was just kind of, I think that it is something that I think Gen Zers would like to do more of, is in person.
Yeah, the follow-up stat to that was 60% say they avoid it, but 86% say it's vital for career growth.
Totally.
Okay.
Yes, I agree.
We do agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next one. Only 25% of Gen Z professionals say they actually know how to network.
That I can, yeah. Yes, for sure.
Yeah?
I think I agree with that. It wasn't something never really taught, I guess, or like, I don't know. It's just something that I never thought would be such a pivotal part of career building.
And how would you want someone to teach you how to do that? I mean, you kind of got trial by fire with me last week, and sort of how I navigate it. We're both pretty introverted, so I'm not sure I'm the best example to follow there. But like, how would you want someone to teach you how to network? Would you take a class?
Class? Yeah. Or just like some little tips. Like I love hearing like everything's so social media oriented. Like you could just scroll something on like TikTok or Instagram or wherever you watch and just get little points on like networking. That's something I would gravitate to if it was something interesting, like how you like connect with someone at a networking event, or how to start a conversation with someone at a networking event. Just little bits and clips like that would be super helpful. And then also trial by fire. I thought that was really helpful because it kind of got me out of my comfort zone, which I need to.
Yeah.
And I had no other option but to get out of my comfort zone.
I mean, there's that. So what is your preferred place? Like if you were, say, I'm going to go to a networking event, I want to get some tips and tricks, the first place you're going to go to look for that?
TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. Everything's on TikTok. They find all of it.
Do you search on Google or Instagram at all? Or not Google, YouTube or Instagram?
YouTube occasionally, yes. They'll have, I would search on YouTube, yes. And then you could search on TikTok, Instagram, I could search. I don't search on Instagram too much, honestly, for videos.
But TikTok you do?
Yeah, TikTok and YouTube, I think, are the big video ones.
And what about any of the AIs? Would you go into ChatGPT or Claude and be like, hey, how do I network at an event?
I wouldn't know. I like having like the personal aspect of networking, because AI is going to tell me like what to do like robotically, but like I want more of like a personal feel, which is more what I want when I'm meeting someone in person for networking.
Yeah.
But like if it was like online, I would totally ask ChatGPT like how to like reach out to someone I just met at Connect, like via LinkedIn. How would I go best about that? That I ChatGPT'd.
Got it.
But like if it were to, but for the in-person stuff, I just like having like someone say like how they would do it.
Yeah, going on TikTok. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Noted.
Yes.
I guess I should spend more time on TikTok.
You do.
Okay, next one was 73% of Gen Z attendees say career and networking opportunities are at the top priority at an event.
Oh, yeah.
So if you weren't working with me and you just want to connect on your own, is networking probably the number one thing you would look to do there?
That would be all I would be doing probably, just because it is so like, and with the job market being what it is right now, it's all about who you know and like how you can reach out to people and have their connections, and like, you know, it is networking right now.
I mean, I don't know that has changed. I mean, even when I was coming up, when I was probably a little bit younger than you, I remember a mentor told me, you know, your net worth is tied to your network.
Yes.
And it's not what you know, but who you know, and then you can prove what you know. Exactly. So I think that is like
wisdom that lives the test of time at this point.
Totally, yes.
All right, next one. 75% of Gen Z want a mix of self-directed and planned experiences. Only 22% want full control of their own itinerary.
What? I would want full control over my itinerary, but I get I understand the statistic only because it is such a crazy time we're living in, and they want to feel some sense of like, I'm going to do this, and if I do so, this will make me successful. Or like having a more plan seems safe, and like you never know what can happen. So
okay, so you would want full control over your own schedule. Maybe if someone was like, pick between these choices, kind of full control.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
Got it.
I would say.
All right, 75% say in-person experiences matter more to them than digital ones.
100%. If I would have gone to that event like online, which is obviously beneficial because you could still like watch everything, but being there was more of a experience.
I agree. 64% of attendees want Instagrammable, shareable moments built into the experience.
That I can totally see. I am guilty of that. But
were you posting on TikTok and Instagram the whole time we were in Nashville?
Oh yeah. And it's just, I feel like it's such a undervalued marketing tactic. Like if it was like the event, like the rebrand, so Instagrammable, like when you guys had when they did the whole video and like the announcement, and then all of a sudden the colors shifted, that's something that people would gravitate to watch and see online. Yeah. And that's just random people like me just posting, and that's like marketing that they would not normally have if people weren't there with their Instagram.
Yeah, agreed. What were your friends' reactions to all of your TikTok, Instagram posts from the event?
They were like, "What are you doing? This looks so fun." I'm like, "Yes, I am having fun." But yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah, they were all like very like, "What the heck are you doing, girl?" Which was fun.
Yeah. Welcome to our lives.
Yeah.
Unless you work in the industry, most people don't get it. And the response usually is, what is going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Only 7% of Gen Z are willing to sit through an hour-long session.
Whoa. I personally disagree. I would sit through an hour-long session, but I feel like it's just attention span with right now with everything with the media. Like we're like just, our brain is just trained to just keep going.
Yeah.
So I get like it is hard to sit there for an hour when when your brain's just running. But
what would be intriguing? Like would you be willing to sit through an hour-long session?
I think because I want to be physically there to learn something. If I'm like watching something for an hour on my TV or something, it's so easy for me to grab something and like scroll. But if I'm sitting there physically at a conference listening, I'm like, my attention needs to be where I am.
Got it. I mean, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, last couple. Gen Z's rate of diagnosed anxiety disorder is 18% higher than millennials, Gen X, and boomers. Mm-hmm. Do you find that true amongst you and your friends?
100%.
Yeah.
I think everyone I interact with, and myself included, I do have anxiety for sure. But that is, I don't know. I think it's just the overwhelm of having too much information, but like not enough at the same time. Like you just feel like there's constantly more you could be doing, and you scroll on Instagram and you see someone's doing this. And that's probably how people felt watching my Instagram, honestly. Because I was like, here 1 second, here the next, here. So it's always because you're seeing so many people's lives just in front of you that you think you could be doing more. So that builds a level of anxiety of like, oh, I should be doing more.
Like a comparison.
Totally. And that's not healthy, but
no, certainly.
That's just how it is.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
Do you think having some of your transformative years of learning being during COVID, like you were in college when the pandemic hit, did that add to some of it? Because I mean, there basically was a 3-year period between high school, college, where most of us do a lot of growing up in those years, and you were isolated.
Yeah. It was insane. Like my 21st birthday, the week before my 21st birthday, the bar shut down. And so I was like, oh, but that was for the best, I think.
I mean, probably
that
was
definitely for the best. That was a saving grace. But everything else, like finishing my college online, I feel like I could have done more like public speaking. Like at the end, it wasn't like it was weird doing like a public speaking class on Zoom. Like that, it just didn't feel like very worthwhile or like like, because I want to feel confident when I'm up there.
Yeah.
But to a screen, like you can be confident all day long. But
it's very different standing in a room full of your peers.
Yes, and all staring at you, judging you,
Yeah.
Like, and I want to feel confident doing that. But just with the college experience, having lacked that was crazy. And just having like a lot of social years taken, which probably fed into a lot of the anxiety. And
I think so too.
And especially during the college years, like people are going off and doing other jobs, or like you didn't get the opportunity to like talk to people of what they were doing, like after college, like what's your plan? And it was just kind of, sad. I wish I got like more of that, but
it was what it was.
Yeah.
91% of Gen Z professionals say in-person events are one of the best ways to build social and interpersonal skills.
I 100% agree. I feel like I gained a little more tools in my toolbox just from that event alone. And just immersing myself into those more often, I feel like I could be very successful if I just kept trying to get more interpersonal skills, because I can be in Montana. I like to hibernate in the winters. Yeah. And then in the summer, I'm like, oh, I'm like a little social butterfly all of a sudden. But in order to like be successful in the social season, I need to like work on my interpersonal skills at all times. Just kind of sharpen the knife a little bit.
I would agree. That's for all of us. I hibernate in the winter myself and then come out like a bear.
Yes.
All right, last three. 69% say the rise of technology has made them feel less connected and more isolated from coworkers and industry peers.
I agree and also disagree. I feel like it's cool to have a conversation with someone across the world, even if it is online. I feel like it is still a connection that you wouldn't make if you were just in your office here in Montana. But also, we still lack the personal connection, like us talking today. Yeah. Which is still obviously needed. We're human beings. But yeah, I could see it's a double-sided coin. I think you can love it because it is cool. Like, and like the people that came in from overseas for the event was really cool. Yeah. And that's not a connection you'd normally make if it was like an all on base New York City kind of office,
like regional type of office.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay. Organizer attendee gap. 65% of organizers still lean on traditional classroom or lecture style formats, but over half of attendees actually prefer interactive hands-on learning.
Yes. I think hands-on learning is huge, especially when everything is so technological. I feel like the hands-on like learning makes you a little more like to make a mistake, then you'd be like, oh, this is what I did last time. And then like kind of watching the lecture, you just kind of see them making the mistake, and then you're like, that just doesn't do anything for me. Yeah. But it is, I would say hands-on is a very needed part of like, especially like an onboarding process for like a new job or something. Yeah. That was what I found hardest at my last job. They just had it all virtual. And I watched a lot of lectures, which luckily the presenter was so interesting. But just that part, I just wish would be a little more like personal. Yeah.
I agreed. All right, last one. 51% of organizers prioritize tech tools like apps and digital displays, but 64% of attendees say they actually want immersive experiences.
I agree with that. I feel like that's very spot on, just because people just don't learn by just what's at your, like, it's so hard. You just want to have more of a, like, if I wasn't immersed into that environment, I would not have learned as much as I did, I guess.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask a couple more questions. These aren't stats anymore. Okay. So these are just all very specific. These are things everyone wants to know about Gen Z. Okay. When you get a LinkedIn connection request from someone you met for maybe 30 seconds at a conference, we met a lot of people. Yes. What makes you accept or ignore the invitation?
I would say if I remember them and if it was a good conversation, like a notable conversation that I remember, I would say. Okay. And that would make me accept. But
and if it wasn't notable, would you decline the invitation?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And we went in the trade show area.
Yes.
That wasn't quite the traditional trade show because everyone had sort of the same stand where normally they have bigger footprints. Like the Dallas booth had that big virtual reality thing. So it wasn't the most traditional. I love the way they do it. So when I say not traditional, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But you also saw all the swag that was given out throughout the conference. So does a company's swag booth actually influence you to visit?
Kind of. The way the Visit Dallas did it was very interesting because that's what people would go to do when they're in their city. Like all the touristy stuff, like they'd go make a hat or like a little tote bag. I feel like that would be a very like touristy stop. And it made me more curious about Dallas, I'm not going to lie. Okay. I was like, oh, it's somewhere I never really considered going. But it was just kind of like, it was on my radar after that.
Okay.
Just because they made such a impact in like bringing that to you, I guess.
And so if, let's just say there was a company that wasn't a destination, right? So you were interested in Dallas because they brought something that you would do in Dallas to their booth.
Yes.
How could a company like maybe a finance company or an insurance company have swag in their booth to make you go? Like, would you pick up a pen? Is that enough? Do you want a hat? Like, what would make you be like, oh, I'm going to stop by that booth?
Yeah. I would say for like a business or like an insurance type of route, I would say having more like statistics on like if like how they, I know everyone does it, but like how they can benefit you. Like on like for an insurance market, like I worked for one of the brokers here and they worked with a bunch of different companies. And they would just show one person's statistic on how they rated at this company, this company, this company, and this company. And just having that as like a statistic or like a little like front, just seeing like how it's priced differently and how they work for you to like find you the best rate based on coverage level.
That would make you want to stop at their booth more than if they were giving something away.
Right. Just because I feel like sometimes the merch and the swag could be overdone a bit. Because sometimes you leave with so much stuff. So much stuff you don't need. And you're just going to toss it or give it to Goodwill anyway.
Yep.
But something that you remember would be something like that, like having something visible.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. What's the fastest way an older colleague loses credibility with you in a professional setting?
Not keeping up with the new technology. Like you said, like the AI is not going to take your job. It's someone that knows how to do it well. I feel like my older colleagues at my old job were reluctant to learn about the new technology or even get on it in the first place, which kind of gave us a lot more work to show them how to do it, because they never bothered to learn in the first place because they're so set in the old technology. But in order to keep up and adapt would be huge. I thought that was a big setback with my coworkers in my past.
Yeah, I would agree. Do you actually want a mentor figure at a conference, or does that feel forced? Like if there was a first timer experience and you got paired with someone who's been at the conference for many years, would that be of interest?
Yeah. I feel like a mentor would be huge just to kind of show you the ropes of like how things work. Just kind of, if I went in there blindly, I would have been so overwhelmed. I wouldn't even know where to start, honestly.
Yeah, so having a mentor would be helpful.
For sure.
Did working the show with me change how you show up at your next event?
Yes. Yes, very much so. I just like how you came in prepared with quite literally everything. So that was interesting, just kind of, and seeing how you prepared throughout your day and then how you debriefed at the end of your day. I feel like I would do similar, just to kind of categorize and lay out my mind a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't, it gets overwhelming. Then you're just like, I don't even know where to start, where to turn left.
Exactly.
How to eat.
100%. I
think that's the biggest takeaways for me, especially, is how much I don't take care of myself when I'm at these
you don't
things.
Eat.
I never eat, never drink water.
No.
It's just pure adrenaline.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Like the worst wellness advocate when it comes to like being on site. Okay, everyone gets worried about Gen Z sort of job hopping. When you're picking who to work for, what actually makes you stay versus want to bail in a year?
Ooh, I would say if there's growth within the company, like I want my boss's job.
Okay.
And if I don't want my boss's job, I'm going to be like, like this isn't something I see long term because I want to grow and succeed and I want to connect and like make an impact. But if like a lot of jobs will just like, if you present something being like a younger person in the workforce, they're just kind of like, oh, like it's kind of been done, like leave that to the higher executive. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not exactly room to like give a pitch for something that you're passionate about or you see a flaw in. I just would say that, yeah, if the company sees growth and actually offers growth, I feel like that is what keeps a lot of Gen Zers in that role
That job?
specifically. Yeah.
Okay. And when thinking about applying for jobs, is there anything in a job posting that you're like, oh yeah, this seems like a good company, I'm going to apply for this one?
I would say the words growing company is big. And just kind of stalking their website a little bit and just seeing that they have like a good, everyone says they have a good like work life. That's not the thing, I don't think. But like everyone says they have like a good company culture. And sometimes that could be a red flag or that could be a green flag. Because every company's going to say it. They're not going to say, oh, we are horrible.
And where do you look to validate that if like, because you, to your point out, everyone says like
Everyone
great
says
company
it.
culture, we have work-life balance, which isn't a real thing.
It's not a thing, no.
So how do you then go verify and what do you look for that maybe is like a red flag?
I would stalk the younger, just starting employees on their LinkedIn.
Okay.
Usually if like, it depends. Like you could tell if something's like an AI post on LinkedIn or if it's actually them saying, oh my gosh, congrats, this is amazing. My company's doing this, this, this. I just kind of look into that versus someone that's been there a while and then the CEO, like just kind of stalking the employees a little bit.
Okay. And you mostly look on LinkedIn for that?
Yes. Yeah.
LinkedIn. Okay. Let's see. Oh, here's a couple AI. Is AI part of how you'd want to do this job if you got into events, or does AI feel like you're cheating at your job?
I think AI is a tool that could be used to make my life easier in the industry. I feel it's definitely a tool. It can be overdone. I think that we still need to have the personal aspect of AI, but it is a helpful tool for sure.
Did they, I mean, I think you were not, AI wasn't really a thing when you were in school, but did you have any trainings on AI at all?
Not really, but like my mom or dad will send me a video and I'm like, this is so AI. I don't know how you guys think that the raccoon just brought home a dog. You know, like I'm like, what on earth are you guys watching? But I don't know. I feel like I'm versed in it just because it's so apparent on everything.
Yeah, I just had this conversation with my dad last night. That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah, I'm like, are you kidding me?
He was like, oh, those aren't real. And I was like, no, those are not real.
Oh God, it's so funny.
It's horrible,
yeah,
but funny.
It
okay.
is, yeah.
What's the actual difference between how you'd want to be managed and how you think older generations expect to manage you? So like your boss, like how do you want to be managed versus how you think they should manage you?
In the past, I feel like older managers tend to micromanage a little bit, depending on because me and my coworkers had very different experiences on how we were micromanaged by said one manager.
Okay.
And I was a little bit older, so she was micromanaged a little harder than I was. But just like, I feel like they want to hold your hand in order to be successful, but that's not how we're going to succeed at all. It is going to be like a lot of failures at first, I feel, but they obviously don't want you to fail at anything.
Yeah.
But I would rather do the job to the best of my ability and then learn afterwards, after the mistakes made. So then in my brain could be like, oh, that now every time I'm going to do it right, rather than she would do the whole thing to completion, send it in to them. And then they tell her, like, they like make the adjustments for her and then tell her what she did wrong.
Got it.
So it was very different managing that worked for me, but not for her.
If you had to explain to a room of boomers and Gen X why Gen Z gets a bad reputation at work, what would you say?
Because they make the work environment not sustainable, I would say. Like they're used to having a work environment that was so 9 to 5 and no room for like children or like just different things that, because life just happens.
Yeah.
But they're so set in their ways to a schedule, which I get, like you need a scheduled stability. But there needs to be more of a flexible work environment. And I think it deters Gen Z from a standard like boomer, Gen X work environment because it is so set in their ways and leaves no room for life to happen in between.
Well, what's your take on work from home?
I like work from home. I think that's a good option for sure. But there does need to be some human interaction. Like if there was like maybe like one day in an office or even just like every other month, there's like a meeting at the headquarters or something like that, just to have a little more human connection there. But I like work from home as an option because you can actually get other things done. Like you can throw in a load of laundry and get back to work. And I like that that's not an after like a 5 to 9, like I watch videos all day on social media. This is my 5 to 9 after my 9 to 5. And it's so much you have to get done in that short period of time when you're just sitting at the desk all day. And that stuff could have easily been done in the meantime.
Yeah, so. Agreed. All right, some rapid fire questions as we're wrapping up here.
Okay.
A free swag table or a coffee bar?
Coffee bar.
LinkedIn connection request or exchange actual phone numbers?
Phone numbers.
QR code badge scan or paper business card?
QR badge code.
Silent disco after party or open bar happy hour?
Happy hour.
Oh, and let's talk about happy hour for a second. Obviously, we went to a non-alcoholic bar in Nashville, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
We also I dabbled in some THC beverages while we were out, which is new to me. Never had those like in public, only at home.
Yeah.
What is your stance on alcohol at events? Because you obviously saw at Cvent CONNECT, there was alcohol at almost every moment of the day.
Yeah.
So what's your stance?
Gosh. I would say everything in moderation. And I would say that is so, as an introvert, it would be so easy if I was there by myself to just have a mimosa with my breakfast, and just to feel a little more comfortable. Like I get how that could be such a rabbit hole for some people in the industry. And you kind of do want to be more social at those events. And alcohol is a great coping mechanism to be more social.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a slippery slope, but if you can do it and be still have your wits about you, but it was kind of crazy how much alcohol was there. It was insane.
Did it surprise you how much alcohol was there?
So surprising to me. Yeah.
And you and your friend groups, are you guys drinking? You're going out? Like, tell me what's your normal stance on alcohol. And I say that because in college and early 20s, I mean, we would party until 2-3 o'clock in the morning and then show up for work at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. No,
that is not the normal anymore.
Right. Yes. Now, like I'm going out to drink with my friends tonight. But I normally just have like a little pre-cocktail dinner, like pre-dinner cocktail, have one with dinner. And then if we're feeling like a little like okay, we'll like have one nightcap or something. I think going out now, well, especially here, I feel like it's not exactly like a night scene.
Yeah.
But alcohol with my friends is in moderation right now. Depending on the night, there's sometimes like we drink a bottle of wine, just a girls' night watching something or something. But yeah, I just think it's very chill now, and there's so many different alternative for like THC drinks, or like there's these like health like cocktails from a few. When I was living in San Diego, there was like every other spot had some mocktail with some health benefits. So there's just so many different options to be social, but still feel like you're having a nice little drink with your friends. Yeah,
and alcohol at events, it's not a priority for you. If you went to a conference and there was no alcohol there, it would be totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that would be an after thing for sure. Yeah. To decompress.
Understood. Okay, couple rapid fires. Front row at the keynote or back row by the exit?
Front row.
Scheduled one-on-one meetings or random hallway conversations?
Random hallway conversations.
Conference lanyard as a souvenir or hotel notepad as a souvenir?
Hotel notepad.
Getting recognized from your LinkedIn photo or introducing yourself from scratch?
From scratch.
1 45-minute keynote or 5 8-minute lightning talks?
Ooh, 5 8-minute lightning talks.
Texting the group chat during a session or actually listening to the speaker?
Listening to the speaker.
Free hotel breakfast or DoorDash delivered?
Free hotel breakfast.
Icebreaker games or awkward silence while everyone waits for the session to start?
What was the first option?
An icebreaker game.
Oh, icebreaker.
Icebreaker. Following a speaker on social right after their talk or forgetting they existed by the time you land home?
Forgetting they existed by the time I land home.
Business casual or I didn't know what business casual meant?
I didn't know what business casual meant.
Got it.
I looked that up.
Getting mistaken for the intern or getting mistaken for the boss?
For the boss.
Getting mistaken for the boss. All right. Okay, so one thing we do when we end every episode after show, you have to pick a curiosity card and answer whatever question it says. So pick 1, 2, or 3.
Okay, I'm going to pick this one.
Okay, read it out loud and then give us your answer.
Okay. What's a meaningful compliment you've received that you still remember? Ooh. I would say that I have a good vibe. I think that was the best compliment I've ever received in my life.
You have a good vibe.
Yeah, I feel like that was a very nice compliment.
Oh, okay. Well, final thoughts on Cvent CONNECT, the industry. Where would you see yourself in your first job in this space?
Goodness.
Like, give us the final round out the conversation of everything from last week.
I would say the very bottom. I would start at the very bottom because that was a lot to learn just to get up to where I would even be above water. I want to be like just where it all started. Like
would
base
you
level.
want to be on the planner side, putting on conferences like that? Be one of the suppliers? Like, where, of all the people you met, which job was the most interesting?
Probably planning. I feel
Planning?
like that would be fun. I would love that.
That's a lot of details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the details, the creativity behind it. I feel like that would be fun.
Okay, I love
Yes.
it. Any last piece of advice for someone, Gen Z, or anyone going to their first conference?
Oh my gosh.
If you had to do it all over, where would you have started?
Oh gosh. Taking notes, take it day by day, and be a sponge. Just be open to learning. Because there's a lot to learn.
There's a lot to learn.
Yes.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's Dynamic Dialogue After Show. Until next time, stay curious.